Hey everybody, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Fire Red with only one Onix was absolutely brutal, so let's use a much more requested rock type. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Fire Red with a team of only one Kabuto? Gee, I wonder why you guys wanted me to pick this one. All jokes aside, Kabuto is a really weird Pokemon in Gen 3 specifically. You'll see his stats here. He's a physical attacker and tank. The stats overall aren't amazing, but it's not all that bad for a Gen 1 Pokemon. But look at his moves. Remember that this is a water type and rock type Pokemon. What's with the grass and ground moves we have? Why don't we learn any water moves? In fact, we don't even learn a rock move until level 55. Not only that, but because we're a physical attacker and Gen 3 was before attacks dictated if something was physical or special, our water moves are going to be pretty weak since they're all special. Kabuto's moveset has been almost completely reworked since because these moves are weird. Any water moves that we're going to bother learning are going to have to be by TM, and we won't get any really good ones until Surf, and we can't get that till after Pokemon Tower. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm gonna guess that I can do it, but that is gonna be a really weird run. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Kabuto. I'll need to use other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So right off the bat, we use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Squirtle with Kabuto so that we can do the whole run with it. I replaced Squirtle so that my rival would have Bulbasaur, the hardest for us to fight since we're double weak to grass, and it would also mean he has two Pokemon with Intimidate, and we're a physical attacker. I name him Helix, because that's hilarious. Our nature is naughty, so more attack and less special defense. It's cool that our attack is buffed, but this makes us even weaker against grass types, so I'm kind of worried. Our ability is battle armor, so we can't get critically hit. That's gonna really help on cutting down on the luck in this run, especially considering we'll be fighting someone with Razor Leaf. So our first move here is obvious. Grind until we're level 13 to get Absorb to use against Brock. But for once, we're not grinding in the forest, we're grinding right before it. This is because we'd sweep through just about anything here anyway, due to being part rock type, but in the forest, we run the risk of being poisoned. Out here, we have a much safer time fighting stuff. Brock is exactly as easy as you'd expect, with him hardly hurting us due to our own rock typing, while Absorb takes him down because of his. For once, we actually ended up grinding a bit in Mount Moon. Normally, I spend as little time here as possible, but because we have Absorb to fight rock types, and we're too tanky for Zubat to really hurt us, this is actually a great place for us to prepare for the next area of the game. Misty could be easy, but the upcoming rival fight is going to be a brick wall thanks to Bulbasaur's Vine Whip. On our way through, though, I took a fossil. The Helix fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Alright, you can all click off the video now. We all know this was the best part. Water Gym time. Absorb is doing almost nothing thanks to how terrible our special attack is, and honestly, I don't stand a chance. I did this badly, and that's with Staryu hardly fighting back. I decide to try the rival fight instead. Pidgeotto goes surprisingly well, and although we get sand attacked, Bulbasaur takes less than half of his health and damage from a scratch, and one-shots us with a Vine Whip. I guess we didn't grind enough. So, it's back to it. This area is slightly annoying because Ekans has Intimidate, but it's not horrible to level up in. It takes a while, but I'm only aiming for level 25. Time for the rival again. We get sand attacked by Pidgeotto, but it goes down fast, and Bulbasaur is next. This gets weird. We use our new Mud Shot on Bulbasaur, and he misses his Sleep Powder, but our finishing blow missed thanks to Sand Attack, and we get put to sleep next turn. Then we get Vine Whip down to only 5 health. We wake up next turn and finish it though. Abra is next, and it can't fight back, so I keep using Absorb to get as healthy as we can, but we missed to an absolutely comical degree. We missed so many Absorbs that I actually had to check my footage back to make sure I wasn't Sand Attacked like 4 times and just went insane and forgot. But no, this is somehow from one sand attack. Eventually, it goes down, and we quickly finish off Rattata. After the trainers to the north, it's back to Misty's Water Gym. Staryu was easy this time thanks to Mudshot doing decent damage, and Starmie was for sure still a threat. Mudshot lowers her speed with every hit, so she loses her speed advantage early, but Water Pulse does do a ton of damage. After 2 of them, we have almost no health left, but is just enough to get the finishing attack. Next is the SSN, and this is a really easy place to gain a few more levels. I figured that the next rival fight shouldn't be too hard as long as he goes for Sleep Powder rather than Vine Whip, but that might take a few tries. Oh, by the way, I'm trying something new with my audio settings right now. Let me know in the comments if you like how I sound or not. I still have some tinkering to do, so it might change a little bit from week to week. We'll see. Rival time. Pidgeotto was great on this run since he didn't sand attack us, and we actually managed to hang on from Ivysaur's Vine Whip, much to my surprise. We took it out with a Mud Shot, and one-shot his Kadabra before he could get to us, so last is Raticate. We're rock type though, so it can't hit us very hard. So we got a surprisingly easy victory. The Electric Gym puzzle went by the best we've ever had, first try. Clearly a good omen. Lieutenant Surge himself ended up being a one-shot sweep, and I'm happy that it was. We're part water type, so we're prone to fainting to electric types, so Mudshot was definitely a lifesaver here. Rock Tunnel is normally a pain because of this hiker with a pile of Geodudes and Gravelers that like to blow up, and I doubt Absorb is really strong enough to handle it, so I used the TM for Water Pulse that we got from Misty, replace Leer, and sweep his whole team. It's still not super strong because of our terrible special attack, but at least it gives us some decent type coverage. Now that we have a water move though, it's clear that the next place to go is Team Rocket's hideout. Giovanni loves rock and ground types, so we should have an easy time here. When we get to him, it goes exactly how you'd think. We take out the ground and rock types like they're nothing, and the only thing that can take a few hits is his Kangaskhan, but it can't dish them out in return. It's time for our easy sweeps to end though, because when we got to Pokemon Tower, our rival one-shot us with a non-critical Razor Leaf. Considering the only other option is the Grass Gym, we might be stuck. I'll try it though. Naturally, I get one shot by Giga Drain though, so it's probably time to grind. First though, I decided to try the rival fight a few more times just to see if he'll end up using Sleep Powder instead. It's just not happening though. I tried 8 more times and he just always used Razor Leaf, so I'll probably need to level up. There's still lots of trainers left on the map, so it's not really that hard to grind up a bit. Plus, I have the Versus Seeker, so even if we run out, there are some passable areas to grind it on. Although, my favorite area to grind isn't until after the Pokemon Tower. At level 44, we still get one shot by Razor Leaf. This is already looking really rough. Honestly, I thought I'd survive that one. At level 49, we managed to finally beat Ivysaur, but it's only because of a lucky critical hit. Speaking of, Gyarados is next, and I thought I was going to have to go get a rock move, but then I ended up critically hitting it for a one-shot as well. Kadabra was a one-shot with Mud Shot, and Growlithe couldn't handle Water Pulse, so on our winning run, we ended up taking no damage. With that done, I started heading to Fuchsia City to get to Koga's Poison Gym. I know that 3 of his 4 Pokemon have Levitate, so Mud Shot won't work very well on them, but I figure the battle is at least worth a try. First, though, I get the HM for Surf and replace Water Pulse. I've actually had a couple of people say I've cheated before in previous runs where I used, I think it was the HM Strength, to which I have to say, you need to watch the start of the video where I go over the rules. I always say, quote, I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. End quote. I can't use the HM-only Pokemon in battle. Of course I can use HMs in battle if it's the Pokemon that the run is built around. It's not like HMs are overpowered in any way. Most of them aren't even good in battle. Surf is pretty much the only one that'll be consistently useful. Anyway, Koga went shockingly well. Surf was somehow a one-shot on Coughing, Mudshot crit Muck for a one-shot, Surf was a one-shot on his other Coughing, and it hit Wheezing for more than half his health and damage. He hardly hurt us with Sludge, and we finished him off. That was much smoother than I was expecting. I tried the Grass Gym right after, but we can't get a one-shot, so we just go down to Giga Drain. On the upside, we can go to Cinnabar though. The Fire Gym is a great place to gain a few levels, not just because we have Surf, but because we're both Rock and Water type. That means that we take 4 times less damage from fire moves, so I'm very confident that we can beat Blaine. Speaking of, Blaine time! I decided to use Surf on his team rather than Mudshot because he has 2 Pokemon with Intimidate, and it pays off. The only Pokemon that could tank hits was Arcanine. It bit us really hard, but he was mostly just using potions, so we had plenty of chances to hit him. He was no problem at all. At the end of the fight, we hit level 55 and learned Ancient Power, our first rock move. It's got 60 power, 100 accuracy, and a 10% chance to raise all of our stats by 1 stage. It's not really that amazing since it rarely gives us the buff, but at least it's a rock move. And hey, it's a rock move that doesn't miss like crazy, those are rare. Now that we have Ancient Power, we're finally able to beat the Grass Gym, only because we're able to one-shot every single member of it. Once again, if any of them could hit us, we'd probably get one shot. For as easy as that was, though, we get brickwalled hard at Rival Fivel. Just like with the Onix run, we can't progress until we can handle the Razor Leaf of a level 40 Venusaur. And that's not easy when you're double weak to grass. Let's take a look at our stats. Right now we're level 56. Our physical stats are great, but our special defense is really horrible, mostly because of our nature. I'm just happy that at least we're immune to crits. I haven't really grinded much recently though, so I just start fighting the trainers in Silph for easy experience. At level 62 I try again, and I probably would have still been one-shot, but not only did I crit for a one-shot, but Ancient Power's 10% ability kicked in and we gained a small boost in every single stat. That offsets some of the harm that Intimidation does, and thus gets us an easy one-shot on the rest of his team. With that done, it's time for some basically free fights. Giovanni and Silph was a total pushover. I didn't even heal after the rival, so I had no power points on Ancient Power left, but he just completely crumpled the moment I applied any opposition. Sabrina's Psychic Gym was also a complete one-shot sweep with Ancient Power, but I'm sure you expected that. We're a physical attacker, she has no defense, it was easy. Last gym of the game is the ground gym with Giovanni again. Total one-shot sweep with Surf, we didn't take a hit. Before we can get to the Elite Four though, we have to deal with our rival again. It's not close though, for the same reason as usual, 4 times damage Razor Leaf is brutal. Seeing as we only have a 12 level difference, it's probably going to take a solid 7 or more level ups before we can handle this Razor Leaf. Grinding is a bit slow at this point, but at least we have Cycling Road to level on. These guys are all easy to take down and close enough together that the Versus Seeker makes it pretty easy to grind on them. At level 70 we try again, and even with the total stat boost kicking in from Ancient Power on our first move, we still don't have enough health and special defense to survive Razor Leaf. If the boost doesn't even make me hang on, then this is harder than I thought. At level 73 I try again, and through sheer luck, Razor Leaf misses. That's a 95 accuracy move, so I got really lucky. Because of that, I ended up crushing the rest of his team without any real issue. By the time I got to the Elite Four, we're at level 75. Here's our stats. The special defense is horrible, but our high attack will make Ancient Power pretty strong. Considering Venusaur only has Solar Beam for attacking grass moves in the final fight, I think I might actually be able to win at this level. Make your final guesses on if we can win or not. Let's do this. First is Ice Trainer Lorelei. Dugong goes down in 1 Ancient Power since it's part Ice type, but no boost. Cloyster is next, and I use Mega Drain since it's such a physical tank. It sets up Hail and wastes my time a bit with Protect, but Mega Drain does a decent enough job and takes him down before he hits us directly. Slowbro is third, and he's given me a lot of issues in my other attempts, but this time Ancient Power crits it to bring it all the way down to red health and boosts our stats. Slowbro's Surf still takes out almost half of our health, and Hail takes us down even more, so we're not safe yet. She full restores, I hit Ancient Power, Hail stops, and I finish her off. Fourth is Lapras, who's a one-shot with Ancient Power because of the boost. We boost again, and then we take out her Jinx no problem. Oh, and by the way, this was my 18th attempt. Surf hurts real bad if Ancient Power does not kick in. Second is Fighting Trainer Bruno. He opens up with 2 Onix in a row, but they're both easy to one-shot with Surf. Hitmonchan could be dangerous, but instead he just missed Rock Tomb, so we took him out in an easy 2 hits. Hitmonlee, on the other hand, tanks a Surf, hits us incredibly hard with Brick Break, and we finish him with another Surf. Machamp is last, but we don't do enough damage and we get taken out in 1 Cross Chop. On my next attempt, we ended up doing much better because his Hitmonlee missed his attack, so we went up against Machamp with full health. He still bulked up and cross-chopped us all the way from full health down to only 8, but we still were able to take him out. Between battles, I restore some power points since items outside of battle are allowed in the rules. Third is Ghost Trainer Agatha. Gengar is first, so I Ancient Power, hoping for a burst. She double teams and full restores, but never hits me before I take her down with Surf. Golbat is a one-shot with Ancient Power, and third is Haunter. I use Ancient Power because I really needed a one-shot. That Haunter has some nasty moves. Her second Gengar is faster than us and hits Shadow Ball, but his follow-up Hypnosis missed. We hit her pretty hard, but she lands in red and ends up using another full restore because of it. Surf hits hard, but she ends up hitting Hypnosis, so we're asleep. Thankfully, the turn that she hits Nightmare is the same turn that we wake up and finish her with Surf. Last is Arbok, so our attack is down from Intimidate, but I try for Mudshot anyway for type effectiveness. We miss and get hit, so next turn I Mudshot again and hit. Iron Tail hits us hard and lowers our defense, we can't take another hit. Thankfully, our final Mudshot hits and takes her out. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Lance. Gyarados is first, so our attack is down the whole battle. We hit Ancient Power, take 40 damage off Dragon Rage, and then finish her with another Ancient Power. Dragonair is next, and although we do decent damage, we get paralyzed off Thunder Wave. I'm sure it won't surprise you to see that I was completely doomed after that. It's pretty clear that we're not strong enough, so I decide to grind by fighting wild Pokemon in Victory Road. As much as I'd love to grind by fighting the Elite Four members themselves, Lorelei is just too dangerous. That means grinding is incredibly slow. But at least it's pretty mindless grinding, so I can pay attention to something else while I do it. Even at level 83, I hardly do any better thanks to Dragonair using Thunder Wave. I actually think we have to be strong enough to one-shot the Dragonairs to get past this fight. Even at level 89, I get stuck on the very same Dragonair. Maybe if Ancient Power kicked in twice at the start, I could one-shot them, but that's incredibly lucky, so I grind a bit instead. At level 94, I try again. Now Ancient Power one-shots Gyarados, so at least I can't take damage there, but against Dragonair, it doesn't even reach red health. We do get a boost though, but we're also losing tons of turns to Paralysis. Our next Ancient Power that fires was a one-shot, but this is bad. A second Dragonair hits us with Outrage, but we one-shot it in return. Yellow health as Dragonite comes out and drops us to only 13 health, but we one-shot him with Ancient Power thanks to the type advantage. Last is Aerodactyl, and we could easily one-shot it with Surf, but because of Paralysis, it's faster than us and it takes us out. We were so close. Finally, at level 100, I try again. I end up doing even worse than at level 94 because I still can't one-shot Dragonairs by a sliver. This is really bad. I just have to keep trying and hope that Ancient Power can boost me on my single shot on Gyarados. Many tries later, and somehow, and I can't even explain why Lance did this, neither of his Dragonairs used Thunder Wave. I genuinely tried this battle at least 30 times this run, and they've always opened with Thunder Wave. Because of that, we were able to win, of course, but even without getting paralyzed, we still almost lost. That fight was insane. Finally, the Pokemon champion. Pidgeot is first, so we one-shot it with Ancient Power, and second is Rhydon, who we easily take out with a single Surf. Third is Venusaur, but because it goes for Solar Beam, we got 2 turns in a row and easily took it out with Ancient Power. Alakazam has low defense, so we just one-shot it with Ancient Power, and fifth was Gyarados, so our attack is down. He's part flying though, so we just one-shot him with Ancient Power thanks to a crit, and last is Arcanine, so our attack is down even lower. I still try for Ancient Power because our special attack is awful, but he hangs on and bites us for 50 damage. After he heals though, we boost off an Ancient Power, then hit one last Surf to finally win this shockingly hard end of an otherwise simple run. That has just flat out never happened before. I had trouble with almost every single member of the Elite Four, just to end up nearly sweeping the Pokemon champion on the first try. I really hope that you guys like that run. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next for next Saturday's Pokemon Challenge. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments and on Twitter though. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I can always use some more ideas from you guys on what I should do next. Also check out the playlist in the description if you'd like to see all the Pokemon challenges that I've already uploaded. If you guys want to see some more Pokemon stuff from me, my friend Whatageek and I are doing a Gen 1 randomizer over on his channel, linked in the description. You can also watch myself, Whatageek, and Goosit play Pokemon Stadium here on my channel. Also, come to my Twitch TV streams and tell me that this video sent you. It's always cool to hear how you found the channel. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.